All right, guys, welcome back, scholars and warriors. Let's go ahead and get started building on our final capstone project for this first unit, which is your personal inventory assessments. So far, you guys have taken the color personality, you've done your index of learning style, you've also done the Johari window. If you haven't done any of those, then it's going to be important that you do them because you're going to need that customized information in order to do this final project, which is going to be a 5-paragraph essay on your unique personality. So here I'm going to take some notes so that you can see how I expect you to structure your assignment. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. In terms of the setup, as you guys know, if you have your own composition notebook or if you use line paper, that's totally fine. Just make the appropriate adjustments. But your essay will be a typed essay that you will submit to me using Google Docs. All right, but for the training, I am going to go ahead and set up my modified Cornell notes using the top margin where I put my name, date, and period. And our essential question that we want to try to answer is, can you write an in-depth 5-paragraph essay about your unique personality? All right. Now, in order to do this 5-paragraph essay, I do want to offer you a particular structure. So, in order to write a basic 5-sentence paragraph, which these days is, I would consider the minimum standard for a paragraph, but once you get into a more sophisticated writing ability, you can go above or below the standard 5-sentence structure. But I think this is a really good starting point for being a proficient writer. So over here, I'm going to give you just a little hot box of the 5-sentence paragraph. Okay. The 5-sentence paragraph is your standard body paragraph. So this is not always applied to your intro or your conclusion, or maybe you have a special paragraph in the middle that you want to include. But this would be a standard setup. And the first thing that you want to do is make an intro sentence. This intro sentence is going to be a generic statement that brings the reader into the purpose of your paragraph. Then the second sentence is going to be your claim. Whatever you say the paragraph is about, or whatever point you're trying to make in that paragraph, should be included there. And then your third sentence is what I call commentary. This is where your voice comes through. And so after you make your claim, you make some comment about the claim. It could be a simple statement, it could be a complex statement, it depends, right? The fourth sentence is what I call analysis. So if you have some claim or some evidence, then your commentary and your analysis would be your unique perspective or reading, view, breakdown of that piece of evidence. Okay. And then your fifth is what I call transition. This sentence is specifically designed to help you move from your previous point toward your next point, which would be the following paragraph. Okay. So I'm going to set this off in its own little box. And then later, if time permits, I will add a little color, a little jazz to to this section, just so that it can draw my eye when I go back and review. Okay, in terms of the main body of these notes, what I want to do is to talk about the personal essay in 5 paragraphs. Personal essay in 5 paragraphs. Now, this personal essay is going to be the thing that starts your college essay. You're going to make a statement at some point that is designed to help convince a university that you would be a well-qualified student for their campus. This will also be an introduction to your bio. This also would be a piece that could be used in perhaps your LinkedIn, your professional profile. So this essay will have a lot of applications for other uses, but at this point, I think it's just fundamental that we go ahead and get started. You're going to see these instructions in your Google Classroom, but I think it's good to go ahead and have it in your notes as well. So copy this down, please. Okay. These instructions talk about the task, which is synthesizing the results, your unique results from the previous assessments that you've taken, and using them in this particular structure. So the first paragraph, and when it comes to paragraph number 1, notice the shorthand for paragraph is this sort of backwards P with a extra line, right? So I am going to name the paragraphs. I'm going to tell you how many sentences approximately should be in that paragraph, and then some of the features or aspects of that paragraph that I expect you to cover. Okay, so for paragraph 1, which should be, let's say, 3 to 5 sentences, is what I call the introduction. Okay, so this will be the first paragraph, but some writers prefer to write their introduction at the end after the rest of the essay is already finished. I think that's a fine approach. So if you find yourself stuck and can't really get the introduction going, I'd say don't worry about this paragraph, skip it, move on to paragraph 2, and then come back a little bit later once you have more of your writing developed. But either way, the purpose of this introduction is to, 1, tell us a little about you. 2, what you value. And 3, what you want to do as a career. All right, just to break this down, I'm 10 minutes in, I have 20 minutes to go. This introduction will be just a little bit about you, right? Who you are, where you're from, do you have siblings, that sort of a thing. This is meant to be very generic. This very first sentence Then we get into what you value, the things that you value, because it is a personal essay. You can decide where you want to go with that. It could be something that you personally value. It could be some aspect of your profession that you think is important. But this also just gives us a bit of an idea about you, who you are, and what you're about. And then the third piece is to point us in a direction, which is about your career. What do you want to do with yourself in 10 years? How do you want to live in 25 years? So those will be the three main components. Now, if you can do those in 3 sentences, 1 sentence each, that's fine. If you want to elaborate a little bit and go as far as 5 sentences, you can do that as well. And also remember, it's not wrong to include a transition sentence as we move into our first body paragraph, which here I'm calling paragraph number 2. All right, so let me slide this up a little bit. And let's get into paragraph number 2. Paragraph 2 is going to be anywhere from 5 to 11 sentences. 5 to 11 sentences. And this one is going to be about your color, personality. Now, 5 to 11 sentences is a big range. And so I want you to know that I want you to stay within that range. This paragraph should be at least 5 sentences if you want full credit, and it should be no more than 11 sentences. I know some of you can get into a groove and kind of just flow maybe far too long, so make sure that you also limit your writing. Okay, so for the color personality, there are obviously some pieces that you need to include. 1, tell us about your color. 2, general characteristics. Of that color. And then 3, why don't we also hear a little bit about let's say how well fits for how much you agree. Okay. Now, keep this in mind. I'll put a little star right here. Additional research may help. Okay. I probably should have put that over here, but whatever. So anyhow, each of you have your own unique color. There is a brief description that I provided you regarding that color, but I do want to encourage you to go beyond that description, do your own research, and find maybe more details. And then also when they talk about things like commentary and analysis, this is what I mean. How well does your personality fit that description? How much do you agree that that description applies to you in particular? Those are kind of the same thing. So I'll be interested to see how you work that out. All right, let's move on to paragraph 3. Paragraph 3 is going to be your longest paragraph, and I expect paragraph 3 to be, let's say, if I go 11, 10, 9, 8, so I could say 8 to 11 sentences. Okay. Now for this one, I do expect you to go a little bit in depth because this one is dealing with the index of learning style. Index of learning style. Now, because this is the longer one, I am going to expect you to select 3 of the, I think there are 5 dimensions on this assessment. So your job is to select 3 dimensions for consideration. Those dimensions are, I guess I am doing more of a standard Cornell today. Those dimensions, ILS dimensions, are active, reflective. What else was there? There was sequential, global. There was sensing and intuitive. And there was visual, verbal. And was there another one? Or were there just these 4 dimensions? Okay, well, let's say there are these 4. Maybe there's a 5th one. I'll have to look it up later. If there is a 5th, let me know. And I probably should have used this as an opportunity for you to put into the chat box. So I missed that shot. All right, so give me your 3 dimensions. I'm hoping that you will pick ones. I don't want to limit you. Pick whichever 3 that you want, okay? So consider the 3 that you find interesting or where you have a score worth talking about. Make sure that you do the research. Remember, I've already given you the PDF that describes each of these dimensions and how you can help yourself as a learner. And so that should give you plenty to write with, okay, on this 11 sentence paragraph. So for that, you're going to have, let's say, sentence number 1 will be an intro, and then you will spend, let's say, 3 sentences on one dimension, 3 sentences on another dimension, that goes to 6, another 3 sentences on the 3rd dimension, that's 9, plus the intro sentence, that would be 10, and maybe your transition or conclusion sentence would be your 11th sentence, okay? So about 3 sentences per dimension will get you all the way to 11 pretty quickly. All right, and then what else can I say? Make sure, select the 3 dimensions to discuss your specific score for each, and 3, analyze analyze how your score applies to your learning. All right, awesome. We'll move on to paragraph 4. It's going to be a bit of a squeeze for me to get this all in one page, but I'm going to do my best. Right now I'm at 19 minutes, so I think we're doing pretty good on time. Your next one is going to be another 5 to 11 sentence. And this one is on the Johari window. Okay, so the Johari window was our 3rd one, and as you guys know, you have those boxes, the facade, the arena, and the blind spot. And so depending on how in depth or where your words kind of land in your window will impact how you write this 4th paragraph. So when we think about your areas, what I want you to do here is I'm going to make it simple, because at this point I hope you've gotten a nice little flow. I want you to discuss results in your facade, arena, and right, so at this point you understand the structure, I hope, and you also get kind of what I'm going for. So here, let me just slide this up. I keep forgetting about that, guys. All right, thanks for reminding me. All right, so discuss your results in the facade, the arena, and your blind spot as well. So I'm going to assume that you know what to do. If you have any questions, make sure you put them in the chat so I can help you out. Once again, I missed the chance to talk about what are those 3 windows. Golly, 21 minutes in. I'm not rewriting these notes, so I'll just get better as I move forward in terms of how to keep you guys engaged. Let's go on to paragraph 5, which is going to be 3 to 5 sentences. And this one is your conclusion. Okay, here is where I want you to discuss your career choice and explain why you are a good fit for that. 2 and 3, and why you want. Guess I gotta go. It. Period. Bam. I'm trying to make it squeeze in. All right, guys. So at this point, these are all the instructions in the notes. Maybe I should leave this for people who need to catch up, but you can always pause it as well. So at this point is where I would normally, with the 8 minutes that I have left, I would go ahead and get in here and start processing these notes just so that I can decide what's most important, what to emphasize, and then it also makes the notebook check a little bit more interesting. So I have my handy dandy colors here. Same colors that we use in my other class. So the yellow is going to be for the major topics. Green is going to be for details, blue in case I have questions, and then pink is usually for pictures. So I'm not sure. Maybe I'll freestyle the pink. All right. But what I am going to do is use the gold to highlight conclusion, Johari window, index of learning style, get some color personality. Let's go on down here. And the intro. Okay. Then I'm also going to throw some blues for questions, green is for details. So in the details, I want to know that this is 3 to 5 sentences. Let's circle it. Even circling it would be fun. 5 to 11, 8 to 11, 5 to 11, 3 to 5. Okay. And I'm actually going to go to a pencil for my blue. Just to bring some color to these numbers and make that easier for me to read as well. Now all of this is my style. As you guys may know, I am a very visual learner. So for me, when I go back and review these notes, this will help me sort of see each piece that's important. Because sometimes you guys also know that I'm a global learner. As a global learner, when I see all this stuff, sometimes it gets fuzzy and the details aren't super clear. So this way, when I can hone in on the different colors, it certainly helps make it easier for me. All right, guys, so this is the instructions. Let me know if you have any questions. You can hit me on the GChat, find me on email, hit me in the chat box, whatever it is that you guys need in order to make sure that all your questions are answered. Now, I'm giving you this assignment today. It is going to be due in 4 days. So you guys have time. If you haven't done the assessments, go back and make sure you get them done. If you need to go back and do some review or some additional research, you've got some days to get it together. And I expect to see it, and I'm looking forward to it as well. So if you have any additional questions, please let me know. I will post up a bit of a model, a mock-up, in the Google Classroom for you to consider and use as sort of the model for your own essay. All right, guys, good luck. Peace.